You gotta love Michigan. 80 degrees a couple of days ago, 55 today. And we are getting frost now. We had frost this morning on my windshield. Wow. Drastic changes here in Michigan, but man, the football team's going out west to warmer weather. The hockey team has just begun, and they started off real strong. On October 3rd and 4th, they played Mercyhurst. And they had no mercy versus this team. They beat them 11-1. Will Horkoff, who is a sophomore, I believe, was in the system last season, had a hat trick for Michigan. Michael Haig had 2 goals for Michigan. And then on the 4th, Michigan beat them 7-0. Will Horkoff had 2 goals in this one, so he's got 5 on this young season, this youngster. And it seemed like everybody on this team scored versus this team. It's not going to be that easy going forward. Michigan's schedule is brutal. They have a couple weekends where they go on the road back to back 2 times. They had a bad season last year. This Michigan hockey program did, according to my standards for the program and according to their own standards. The winningest hockey team in history. National titles, I think Denver overtook Michigan a couple years back. Western Michigan is now winning national titles instead of Michigan. I could understand if it was Michigan State, the guys from East Lansing, but it's Western now, and Michigan is going 18, 15, and 3. That was their record last year. Things have to change. They lost to Penn State in the Big Ten quarterfinal, and their season was done. It was Frozen 4. And Brandon Naurato, the head coach for Michigan hockey, in his first 2 years, he went to the Frozen 4. Was that Mel Pearson's doing with his players? We've talked about this in other sports where, you step into a good situation. Juwan Howard reminds me of this. Did great with Beeline's players early on. But can he win in his now 4th season? Brandon Naurato's been here 3 years. It's his 4th season now. We're going to go down the schedule, but first I want to tell you who's coming back from Michigan and why I think this could be a really good season. The playmakers that are back, and we have new goalies. So I'm going to go over all of that. We're going to start with the defensemen that are proven commodities that are back. Tyler Duke is back at defense. 38 block shots last year, 5 goals, and 8 assists. Luca Fantilli is defenseman, but more like a center. He can do it all. 44 block shots last year, a goal, and 5 assists. He is not Adam Fantilli, his younger brother, who's already in the NHL. But he is a great playmaker. And then we got a whole bunch of forwards that are back here from Michigan. We're about ready to score some goals. Josh Earnesty is back. He only had 1 goal last year, but I expect more this season as he had 10 assists. This puck's going to be moving around, flying around offensively for Brandon Naurato this year. Nick Moldenhauer is back. He had 3 goals and 7 assists. TJ Hughes is back for this team. 15 goals and 23 assists. And then there's Garrett Shifsky coming back. 11 goals and 9 assists. The aforementioned Michael Haig is back. 13 goals last year, 21 assists. And then Keenan Draper last year had 7 goals and 2 assists. All of that is just from last year. We know that before that, they did things. They were on junior teams or what have you. You know, hockey's a weird sport where it's kind of like baseball. You can play anywhere. There's these junior leagues. They move up and down, but once you go to college, hopefully, damn it, you better stay here and complete the mission at Michigan, the winningest. And I think that's what these guys are trying to do for this team. At goalkeeper, we have Julian Molinaro, the sophomore, and some of these goalies are unproven at Michigan, which is what I was trying to say. You know, you can have all the stats you want in all these other leagues, but now it's Big Ten, and I think I would argue the Big Ten is way different, more physical than say the OHL, the Ontario Hockey League, which is a junior league where the players get paid. Well, now you can pay players in college athletics. Go on down to hockey. So Michigan's retained all these great players. I'm sure they're getting a nice stipend, and we're going to be back. It's going to happen. Every Michigan sport is on an upward trajectory right now. It's not just because of the name brand. It's because now money is involved, and we have a ton of it. So, although Molinaro had a .916, a 91.6 save percentage with the Calgary Canucks in 23 and 24, he was not the starter in this last game. Stephen Peck is a freshman. He had a 90.9% save percentage for Muskegon in high school. It's Jack Ivankovic, who is starting. He is the freshman at Michigan, a .9309. But he played in the OHL. That's the league I was just talking about, where it was professionals before college was paying people. And in his first 2 starts at Michigan, he has a 96.3 save percentage and has only allowed 1 goal, and yes, it was to Mercy Hurst. But we have goalkeepers. We have the ability to stop goals now. We have the defensemen that block. We have the scorers. We have the depth. I didn't even bring up all the other players on this team because I have yet to see them. Hockey is it's hard to research. It really is. You know, trying to look up people's stats and where they come from. There's nothing out there. And it's a regional sport. I get it, but it's a fun one to watch, man. And the Red Wings just opened their season with a win. It's their 100th season. So hopefully they can get back into the frickin' playoffs at least in year 100. Another very proud program. But this schedule for Michigan doesn't get any easier. Holy shit. On October 10th and 11th, they are at Providence, who is number 7 in the nation right now. Then they have Robert Morris the weekend after that. Then, October 23rd and 24th, they have Western Michigan at home, and then they are at Western Michigan, who, as I said, was a 1 seed, and they beat Denver and then Boston University for the national championship in the Frozen Four last year. Michigan has to win those games early. And then it's at Notre Dame right after that. Notre Dame is creepy as hell, though. I mean, Jesus. They have multiple affiliations with multiple conferences. Basketball's in the ACC. Hockey's in the Big Ten. They're independent in football. Could you just pick a damn conference in the avenue, would you please? Michigan's going to win those. And then Wisconsin, a series on November 7th and 8th. That one's at home for Michigan. I think they do well versus Wisconsin, who wasn't much last season. And Michigan I think, is going to be way better than last season. And Michigan handled Wisconsin. Michigan kept going. They couldn't get a sweep last year. They would win one game, and then they would lose the next one. Or they'd lose the first game and then win the next one. They would always just split every series, hence the 18-15 record. They're not that far off. And then November 14th and 15th, they're at Penn State. That should be a pretty good series for Michigan, in my opinion. And then November 21st and 22nd, the same weekend that Michigan is going to be playing Ohio State in football. They have Ohio State at home in hockey. Then they're at Harvard on the 28th and 29th of November. And then December 5th and 6th, they are at Michigan State. The Spartans won the Big Ten last year with a 26-7-4 overall record. They were like 15-4-4 in the conference, but couldn't get it done. They couldn't hold up the Big Ten in the postseason and lost. And then on January 3rd, Michigan always plays the United States national team development program. The under 18 people, and they always get a win there. But it's good for them youngsters. And, sometime during this period, Michigan players are usually on national teams. I don't know if any of these players are going to be going to play for the United States from Michigan's team this season. It used to be 5 of them went at least, and we lost games because of it. Maybe now we have not quite elite players, but developed, experienced players that are going to be here during that stretch, and we can get those wins now. It's a weird dichotomy in college athletics right now. But then January 9th and 10th, we have Notre Dame at home, but then we're at Minnesota, who is a juggernaut in their own right. They have national titles. They have been a Big Ten juggernaut. It's on the road at their place. And then right after that, we go on the road and play Ohio State on January 30th and 31st. February 6th and 7th, Michigan State is at home for one game, and then the second game is the duel in the D that these two programs always have every single year. Can't wait for that matchup there. And then Penn State is at home. And then the last two series are tough. February 20th and 21st, they're at Wisconsin. And then February 26th and 27th, Minnesota comes to Ann Arbor and Yost Ice Arena. What could they do with this schedule? I think they're going to do enough. I mean, the Big Ten is probably the best conference in college hockey, even though they haven't won it lately, the whole thing. Kind of like how the Big Ten in basketball is really damn good every time, but they can't do it nationally. Football, up until the last 2 years, where Michigan won, and then Ohio State. It had been a while. We need to do some national things here. This team, I think, is capable. It's going to be a gauntlet. You have to have better than 18-13. And you have to go win tournaments like you did before. Michigan won the Big Ten tournament a lot of times, the previous 2 years, and that's how they got in to the NCAA tournament, and then they go to the Frozen Four. This past year wasn't as good. We got to see if Brandon Naurato he held the team together. Now what can they do? They have the most goals scored out of any Big Ten team so far out of the first 2 games. But like I said, we mercied Mercyhurst, so nothing to be excited about there. But man, sports are here. I cannot wait to see what this hockey team can do. I can't wait to see what the basketball team can do for Michigan. The football team has a huge game at USC, and I did a preview on that video. You can go check that out. I think Michigan goes on the road and wins. It's an exciting time. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. Who's got it better than us? Nobody. Woo! Ric Flair.